we're gonna demo this deck. We're gonna compare the speed of the cordless Milwaukee skill saw to the speed of the steel chainsaw. Even though we're going to do a comparison, there's not really a comparison when it comes to railings. The chainsaw totally wins on cutting out 6x6 railing posts and railing panels. Now, if you're going to use a chainsaw to demo deck, you definitely want to use protective equipment. And some people may tell you that you shouldn't use a chainsaw anyway, even with the protective equipment. I have earplugs, safety glasses, and chainsaw chaps. And I'm sure it could be possible in the right situation that an accident still happen. Even though I am entirely against carelessness, we live in a culture that sometimes takes safety to an extreme. I wonder if that's because they figure that you get one body, you get one life, and so it is worth whatever the cost to make sure that you stay healthy and live as long as possible, even if that means cutting your efficiency in half. If you reduce your accident risk by an additional 2%, they would say it's worth it. I have a slightly different perspective. There's always risk in life, and my body is going to be remade one day when I am raised to be with my Lord and Savior Jesus. So we've already taken down the railings, and these two parts are about the same size each, so it's going to be a pretty fair comparison. Your key to efficient deck removal is trying to cut the pieces into as few pieces as possible, but that are yet manageable. So you will see I'm cutting right along the sides of a joist, staying away from the joist so I don't hit the nails, but cutting the decking and then cutting free the joist on each end and then cutting it in half. That means each 16-inch section of the deck is being carried away in only two pieces, other than the first part where I was starting and I cut all the decking boards into about 12 inches each. It's less ergonomic using the skill saw because you have to be on your knees to do it. Still, on the head-to-head comparisons of the standard deck sections, the skill saw was comparable. And that's excluding the blade change I do in the middle of the chainsaw portion of the deck. So you may wonder what the panel up against the house is for. If you're going to demo a deck with a chainsaw, you'll splatter bar oil on the house if there's no protection. So that scrap piece of siding is just there to catch the oil splatters. One of the nice things about using a chainsaw for demolition is that it doesn't bind up as much as the skill saw. I was having a lot of binding with the rear-handled Milwaukee and had almost no binding using the chainsaw. Of course, if you hit nails, you're going to dull your blade pretty quick. And the blade change really is what made the chainsaw fall behind. Otherwise, I think it's a no-brainer to use the chainsaw. It's faster, it's easier on your body. But if you hit nails, it'll be slower. So it is really almost a toss-up on standard deck sections. You'll see, though, that it is pretty handy when we get to some of the more irregular parts of the deck. That's coming right up. The homeowner insisted on helping us, and we didn't mind his help. On this portion of the deck, you'll see how it's so much easier to use the chainsaw to cut without kneeling down, to cut through two joists at once, cut through stairs, cut through beams, and pretty much get in places you couldn't get in well with the skill saw and would take way longer with a sawzall. This deck was approximately 350 square feet, and we had it mostly in pieces after about 2 hours. We got the ledger off, had the second truck loaded and on the way to the dump in about 4 hours.